Welcome to DM Prep. My name is Ian. I'll be your DM today. Today I am prepping episode 3 of the Gilded Trolls Odyssey of the Dragonlords campaign, which is titled the Mossy Temple. I shouldn't have had a hard time with that. It's literally right here. So at the end of last session, the players decided to go do the Mossy Temple thing. They're tracking down the Horn of Balmithria, which is not something that I had planned for. If you guys watched episode 2 of the DM Prep series, you'll know that when I went to prep the Great Labors, I saw that it is literally 45 pages long, and thought, well, that's a lot to prep. Hey, Checo! How's it going? Thanks for following. You weren't fucking kidding. Thanks for being here, Diego. So yeah, I did not prep the Mossy Temple or the Mithril Forge. Instead, I decided to prep the Necropolis at Tillamook because I thought that that would be the most likely out of the 3 that the players could actually feasibly get to, because there is the entire where is oh, here we go. There's the entire The King's Daughter quest, which is sort of kicked off as soon as the players go to Estoria. So I assumed that they would handle the King's Daughter start to finish before they went to either the Mithril Forge or the Mossy Temple, so I figured I had time to not have to prep those immediately. But I did think that it was possible for them to go to the Necropolis of Tillamook immediately, so I prepped that. But the players decided to go to the Mossy Temple, which means we're going to move the UR here right to the Mossy Temple. So I essentially, at the end of last session, for the last half hour or so, I was essentially trying to just cold read the adventure. I just skimmed this section. I saw this read aloud text, got sort of what it was getting at, and it's, yeah, you're heading to the Mossy Temple. They've carried it into the old woods, and they haven't been very careful, and there's red wine all over the place, blah, 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 etc. And then I saw this read aloud text, and I saw that it's a combat encounter, and I was like, cool, those take a while. I can run that, not really understanding what in the fuck is going on. There's this girl they have to protect, but I can just slap a token down, and we can run the combat, and then we can end the session, and I can deal with the aftermath next session. And then someone pointed out that we were at our established session end time, so I ended the session, and we didn't get to that actual encounter. So at the very start of the encounter, it's going to be essentially, hey, let's fight some stuff. So I need a Woodlands map. So the question is, can I make use of the Mossy Temple map? And I think the answer is going to be a big old fucking no. I don't think there's any real... I could probably just use this. I could use this area. That could work. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. And then, my player... Is there any dynamic lighting here? Oh, that's beautiful! Alright, cool. So what I'll do is I'll use this map, and so I need to get my player's tokens. Should be in the grotto. So I just need to copy some tokens. Let's get off the dynamic lighting. So grab some tokens, budge them up a little. They do not have this guard with them anymore, so we got Kyra. We got all 7 players. We're going to hit copy, and we're going to go back to that Mossy Temple map. And then essentially what's just going to happen is I'm going to screw with my players. So they'll be in this area for purposes of dynamic light. They can only see this limited space. And then what will happen is, so what I'll do is I will have them pick their marching order. So if I take a look at, so this is all I can see. So what I can do is I can actually move them forward a little bit. So there's really no risk. Let me see how far forward they would need to be to actually see the temple. Can you see the temple from here? No. So they would need to be here-ish. Maybe one back. Yeah, they would need to be here to even have a glimpse of the temple. So what I will do is I will start them out essentially at this junction, and then basically just tell them, okay, ask them what's your marching order, arrange yourselves, And then I'm just going to drop some... I sound so fucking excited. Yeah, no, I just have a voice. My throat was killing me yesterday, and I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, so I'm going to start them right at this intersection. It kind of looks like there's stuff behind them, there's some stuff in front of them, there's stuff to the side, and the goatlings are going to crash out of the brush in 2 different locations, and that'll be interesting. So we've got 6 goatlings. So let's grab some goatling tokens. I don't want monster art. I want, there we go, goatling. Alright, so that's got a picture. So we're going to drop a goatling. Why are they small? Let's look it up. Goatling. They are small. That's interesting. Did not know that. I don't really like how tiny that token is. I appreciate small, but that looks absolutely tiny. So we're gonna do a little bit bigger. We're gonna do 6, 3 over here, and 3 over here. Okay. Yeah, colors are different for everybody. It's fine. It was a little laughing on Bayless's stream. That would actually cause some throat soreness. Yeah, these are ugly motherfuckers. Holy shit. They're ugly. So one of the things that's really important, if we go back to introduction, running the adventure, preparing the adventure, running the epic paths, I'm starting to learn books. So if I go to the doomed one, that's cool. This is very important. While Estoria lives, her servants focus their attacks upon the doomed one. This includes goatlings, Jacquard, Lamia, Maenad, and all hostile undead. We got a bunch of goatlings, so they are going to target Helios because he is the doomed one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these goatlings, all 6 of them, and then I'm going to move them to the GM layer. So I'm going to let the players decide essentially how wide a spread they have. They don't have to be all grouped up like this. It could be like, split and whatever. I'll let them pick where their tokens are, and then I will add the little girl token, and then I will make the dudes visible. So, what the hell is up with the Mossy Temple? Yeah. Well, first I should probably get the. Was her name Corinna? She looks stunned to see you. Corinna, blah blah blah. Warned to leave the temple by a young satyr named Laureus. She fled, but the goatlings pursued her. Cool. So this encounter is technically taking place, I want to say like a mile. Why am I a freezy boy? What are you talking about? Oh, wait. Why does my bitrate say it's red when the kbps is 4800? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it red? Dropped frames 8%. I hate it. So I don't see any art for her, so I'm just going to drop her here. We're going to move her to the GM layer, so I can drop her when I need to. And that's essentially that. So what I will do is, I don't want my players to know that they were on the Mossy Temple map, and I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to enter like over here, but we'll get there. So what I will do is I will actually like move them off of this map, and then sort of rearrange some stuff, and then move them back onto this map once I've got it rearranged, and then they'll never know that it was the same map because they can't see everything. That reminds me, I will have to enable Advanced Fog of War once I move them back to this map so that they can see things that they've seen before. So anyway, let's read about the Mossy Temple because I don't know what the hell. So, Ruined Temple, thick layer of moss surrounded by massive trees. No one knows who built it. Blah blah blah. Oldest structure in the Heartlands. Circle of Standing Stones is number 1. I think. Temple's true name is lost. Made by the Geigans, cool. Honor Sidon. Time long before the mortal races, sure. Geigans were devout servants of the Titans. They propitiated. I want to look that up. Define propitiation. Sure. Active Seriously? Seriously? Jesus. Win or regain the favor of by doing something. Okay, so they worshipped. Fuckers. Jeez, say fuckers. Say worship. Their empire spanned all the islands of Thylia. They were thought to have been exterminated by Pythor and the Dragon Lords by the end of the First War. Got it. Teenagers have been disappearing from towns and farms around Estoria. They're lorded into the forest by roving bands of goatlings that serve the mistress of the temple, a dryad named Demetria. Yeah, circular definitions. Super useful, Google. Demetria has good cause to hate the people of Mitros. Estor Archelander chopped down her sister's oak tree to use as the mast. Awesome. So Demetria is the sister of Versi, as established to Helios. And then she swore fealty to Lotharia, who embraced her and further stoked her rage. So if she's the sister of Versi, that means that she is also a daughter of Sidon, but then she swore fealty to Lotharia. Interesting. She loathes mortals. She captures young men and women to serve in Lotharia's dark rituals, telling them they're being initiated into an ancient priesthood, but then the women are transformed into maenads and the men are slaughtered and devoured in ritual feasts. Cool. In the past year, Demetria has become more brazen. She's captured dozens of teenagers now. Recently, she sent her goatlings to steal the horn of Balmithria in order to feed her growing number of servants. This is some read aloud text. The horn has been stolen from the dragon shrine by a tribe of goatlings. At no point was it established that it was goatlings, but okay. Old Woods is an ancient forest that lies in the center of the heartland, surrounded on all sides by fields and farms. The forest consisting mostly of ancient oak and walnut trees. So this is some really cool art. Mossy Temple. I want to see if there's a handout. Mood. Hell yeah. Wow, that's actually more complete than this image. So yeah, I do wanna give them this art when we get there. I think that's this. I'm not actually sure. Mossy Temple's really small, isn't it? Damn. Okay, so this should be easy to prep. That's good to know. For the first century, the new settlers of Thylia cut down trees to build their farms, towns, and cities, but they stopped when they reached the Old Woods because fey creatures are known to haunt the forest. In the modern day times, no one enters the Old Woods except for the druids. Traveling to the edge of the Old Woods only takes a few hours. Traveling within the Old Woods to the Mossy Temple takes the better part of a day. Tracking the goatlings requires a DC 10 wisdom check. So, having read that, I think what we should do is have... to give you an idea of my players' motivations, so they talked to King Pythor and they were like, yeah, set up a meeting between us and Gaius, the commander of the Lord of Sidon, the commander of the Order of Sidon. And they're like, okay, cool, that'll be like tonight. And then they were like, okay, in the meantime, we're going to go to the Dragon Shrine and see if we can find the Horn of Balmithria. And then they found out that it was stolen, and they're like, okay, we're going to track these fuckers down. So they tracked them down to the edge of the forest, and it took them about 3 hours. So in terms of timeline, they woke up at 6 a.m., and then they headed out to Estoria. They got to Estoria around 9 a.m., I'm the druid and I speak for the trees. Give me all your money or I'll break your damn knees. That's pretty fucking funny. Hilariously, 2 of the members of our party are considered druids of the Old Wood. One of them actually a druid and the other is Remir, who is our centaur artificer. But yeah, so they got to Estoria around 9 a.m. By the time they were finished talking to King Pythor, it was probably 10 a.m. And then let's say they talked to King Pythor and then quickly investigated the Dragon Shrine and then left. And we'll say that, it was 11 a.m. when they left Estoria. It took them 3 hours to get to the Old Woods, so it's 2 p.m. right now, and then their dinner's at 8 p.m. So they reach the edge of the Old Woods, and they are tracking the goatlings, and they know that the trail is probably a week old, so they could very easily lose the trail if they don't follow it right now. Why did I bring my phone up? Let's mute this. Just gonna eat it. The phone has been yoked. It's just gonna be like right in the corner. Oh, incidentally, so I'm doing a 3D printer. So I have successfully 3D printed the bottom half of a dice box. So that went well. And then I tried to print another one this morning, and it's very warped. So I'm printing another one right now. I'm essentially just going to run out the spool, and then once that spool's empty, then I'm going to start printing the lids. But I did get a successful print after 8 failures, and then I had another failure. So, so anyway, so yeah, it's like 2 p.m. right now, and they need to get back for dinner at 8. But they might decide, you know what, we're gonna we're just gonna miss dinner and do this Mossy Temple thing. You know, they don't know that it's gonna take the better part of a day, but they do know that they've already traveled for 6 hours today, and it would take a while to get back. Yes, my build plate heater is on the fritz. It's actually not the heater. The heater is fine, but the thermistor in the build plate is janky. I currently have my build plate temperature set to 9 Celsius, and let me just do a flesh check. Yeah, that build plate's somewhere around 50 Celsius, but it thinks it's at 9. So yeah, earlier today I was like, you know what? While I was printing the second one, I was like, you know what? Let me set it to 20 because I knew that it was way low, and it heated it to probably about 90 or 100 Celsius, which is way too hot for PLA, and it warped and curled and pulled off the build plate, so I had to throw that one out and start over. So now it's at 9 Celsius. So the 9 Celsius doesn't matter. That's just what my thermistor thinks it is. But 50 Celsius is about 100 Fahrenheit. No, it's probably about 120 Fahrenheit. 50 C to F, 122 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I just think it's Celsius when it comes to the 3D printer. I know that 50 to 70 is good for a build plate for PLA, and I know that 185 to 210 is good for the hot end. Anyway, back to D&D. But yeah, that is a good update. We are go on actually continuing to print the dice boxes. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have this encounter here with goatlings who are predominantly going to target Helios, and then they'll meet Corinna. She'll explain the situation. Blah 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 blah, and she urges them to save her friends. I'm reading that right now. She has a way with words and makes everyone fall in love with her. Nevertheless, she wants to save her friends, so she's determined to accompany the heroes into the temple. So, you know, they gave me... so 3 of them will use mockery, roleplay the taunts they hurl at the heroes. So, okay, so there was something that I noticed just before I started streaming. There's something really weird with the goatlings. So they have this feature called mockery, but it's outside of the actions. I think it should be an action. Hi Ian, new to the channel. Love watching the prep. Yay! Welcome. Thanks for being here, and thanks for bringing people, Andy. I really hope these DM prep streams help people understand how I prep, how they can prep, and how to run a game. So yeah. So she wants to save her friends, and she's not even like incompetent in combat. She is a scout, which is CR half. She's probably about as powerful as they are at level 2. 16 hit points. It's probably about what they have. Let's see. I've got their character sheets up. 17, you know, load 19, 17, 15, 19, 17. Yeah. So yeah, she's about as powerful as the players. She doesn't. She's not quite as accurate. She doesn't hit quite as hard. But yeah, she's roughly as competent as the players. It really is up to the players whether or not they continue in or stay here. Corinna is a teenager. I'm going to say that she's like 16. Definitely going to stay away from any even remotely sexual descriptions of her. A young girl bursts into the clearing, breathing hard. Tears streak her dirt-caked face. I will say that she does not have any weapons on her right now, but she will tell them, I hunt, I'm good with a bow, and hopefully one of them has a bow to arm her with. And if not, she'll say, I can, that, copus on your hip, I'll take that. That works. And she'll use that. So she and her friends were lured into the temple by a beautiful woman named Demetria, who promised wealth, beauty, and fame. Laureus warned her to leave. Cool. Alright, so Area 1. So let's go back to the map. Area 1, which is over here. Standing stones. Clearing is dominated by 7 large standing stones, each about twice the height of a man. The canopy is less thick here, allowing dappled light to pass through its rustling branches. Small creatures occasionally dart through the carpet of leaves blanketing the ground. Each of the standing stones is covered in splotches of fuzzy green moss. They're arranged in a half circle, and they're cold to the touch. You sense they've been here for a very long time. They were erected by druids of the Old Wood more than 1,000 years ago. If a druid or ranger takes a short rest while within 10 feet of the stones, it will count as a long rest instead. That's cool as shit. Hercus, the gnome druid, hides near the standing stones in the form of a squirrel. He's completely insane as the squirrel chatters at the heroes madly, jumps from stone to stone, and throws nuts at them. Cool. He'll try to bite to them. He'll only transform back if he's captured or damaged. Okay. If he's ever cured of his insanity, he'll thank them profusely with his mind returned to him. He turns out to be a very talkative gnome. He's one of the druids of the Old Wood. Demetria poisoned him with a tea made from a flower that grows in the ancient glade. Stares at the heroes with a dazed expression, starts eating leaves and nuts, and without greater restoration, he remains insane. If the heroes enter the temple, he follows and returns to the squirrel form. He sits on the shoulder of the hero who attacked or captured him. Cool. He shrieks and throws nuts that he stores in his cheeks at enemies during fights. Statistics of a druid with the addition: he's small, dark vision, 25 feet, gnome cunning. Polymorph into a beast of CR half or lower twice a day. Alrighty then. Good to know. So moving on. Area T2, temple entrance. Clearing goes wider as you continue eastward. Oh my god, tell me east is... Do I have a compass? Tell me I have a compass. I don't even have a compass. Is there a map in the book? Is there a compass? There's no compass. That's so cool. I'm guessing east is down. Okay. Clearing goes wider as you continue eastward. Ruined architecture seems to suddenly loom over you. You realize that what you thought were trees are actually towering pillars of fluted marble overgrown with vines and green moss. The columns stand in 2 rows, marching toward a massive stone temple facade. Excuse me? That is a really confusing... Columns stand in 2 rows, marching toward a massive stone temple facade. Okay, so I'm just going to describe that the columns... So like if I move someone like right here, they're going to see columns, but they're not really going to see the columns continue around until they get like over here. That's a really weird description. Very confused. I'm going to ignore that and just come up with a better explanation. The ruins are worn with unfathomable age, and several of the pillars toppled and shattered centuries ago. Cool. Dozens of gargantuan tree roots wind their way through the clearing, climbing over fallen pillars and rupturing the walls of the temple. There are a few ways into the inner chambers. No one guards it, but the roots of the ancient oaks can be animated by Demetria. She can use a bonus action to cause one of the roots to attack any creature within reach. The roots can discern race, so Demetria can allow certain races, such as satyrs and goatlings, to come and go as they please. Each root has an AC of 10 and 10 hit points. Each root can make an attack per round. How does that work in game now? Like, do the players just need to stay the fuck away from trees? Okay, so gray ooze. Oh, okay, there's roots in here. Got it. There's roots on the map. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, so this is a root. This is a root. This is a root. This is a root. Okay. It is starting to make more sense. Yikes. This is not written very well. Anyway. Ruin antechamber. The temple antechamber is a wide rectangular room shrouded in darkness, but for the faint rays of light coming through the entrance. The room smells wet and earthy, and the floor is carpeted with soggy dead leaves. Upper floor of the temple consists... Upper floor? There's a downstairs? Oh, there's a downstairs. Is that the ancient glade? Yeah, okay, there's more to this bitch. Okay, I was like, oh, there's only 6 areas. There's not a whole lot to prep. But I guess I need to prep the ancient glade, too! Good to know. Upper floor is 4 rooms. Antechamber, main worship chamber, baths, and flight of stairs leading to the underground chambers. There's a broken bronze shield on the floor that appears to be centuries old. Bears the symbol of the Dragon Lords. Inscribed along the edge of the shield are scenes of a dragon-mounted warrior subjugating a race of 6-armed cyclopes. The Dragon Lord can be identified as Estoria Archelander with a successful history check. So one of the interesting things is the Kyra is not accompanying my players right now because she stayed with Pythor while he got the dinner ready with Gaius. Chamber of Sidon. Of course, there's a statue of fucking Sidon. Dominated by a beautiful marble statue of the Titan Sidon. Lord Storm sits upon his throne, hunching slightly so that his massive form seems too large for the room. The ceiling is domed with an oculus that allows through a broad ray of light. Sidon holds a large mirror which catches the light and directs it through a small shaft that opens below his feet. The statue auto-succeed on the Dragon Lord ID. So the statue meaning Yasena, the character who thinks that she is a Dragon Lord, I would say no. Probably not. And yeah, I keep thinking about Sidon too, from Breath of the Wild. Every time I say his name, I'm like, oh fuck, it's Prince Sidon. No animal sounds, and the statue seems to stare at them. If Hercus is present, he shrieks and throws a nut at the statue's head. Cool. A small-sized creature can crawl down the shaft. We don't have any of those. Which leads to another mirror, and then goes straight down into the ancient glade. Someone can drop 20 feet into the chamber. So let's just take a look at the ancient glade, area 8. So it'll just drop down here. Doesn't seem to specify exactly where, but I don't think that's really a big deal. Okay, so I know. Okay, so these stairs go. None of this makes sense. Tell you what, I'm just not gonna think too hard about it. Just not gonna think too hard about it. Where the fuck is that true? I don't think these two maps really line up very well, which is why it doesn't specify where that light goes. It did say there's another mirror, but dude. Statue's made of marble around a core of adamantine. That's dangerous. Because then the players can get access to adamantine. Mirror is polished adamantine. Attacking twice will alert the entire complex to the hero's presence. Cool. Ancient baths. Expansive rectangular room is shrouded in darkness. You hear the echoing sounds of droplets falling into a vast pool of deep, stagnant water. How did Corinna get out without... Okay, black vines and massive roots climb down the walls and wind across the room. As you walk forward, the stone floor gradually descends into the water. I mean, it looks like stairs, but okay. The room is part of an ancient bath complex. There are public baths in the city of Mitros, but this one is far older. Fountains would normally be running at all times, refreshing the water, but these probably haven't worked for centuries. Gray oozes. Let's take a look what gray ooze looks like. Okay, CR half. They're pretty simple. Stone turned to liquid by chaos. Sick. Kills its prey slowly because it's got acid. Target's wearing non-magical metal armor. Its armor is partly corroded. Takes a permanent cumulative -1 penalty. Armor is destroyed if the penalty reduces its AC to 10. It's going to be a yikes for me. Alright, so that's dangerous. Any non-magical weapon made of metal that hits it corrodes, -1 penalty to damage rolls, and then you can lose your whole ass weapon if you keep hitting it. Neato. Animated roots. Roots here to attack anyone but goatlings, satyrs, and maenads, which means they won't attack Helios for once. 2 roots will attempt to grab and restrain the heroes. How many roots are there? I see 2. Roots will drag and hold anyone they grapple under the water. Refer to the rules on holding your breath and drowning. Cool. Because the roots are beneath murky water, attacks against them have a disadvantage. Any creature dragged underwater will also be attacked by the great oozes. That's cool. So they enter the room, and then roots. Roots. Why are we talking about tacos, guys? T6, descending stairway. In the room behind the bed, the stairway descends into the shadows of the lower floor. Stairs are over by 4 hideous stone statues. Each appears in the form of a 6-armed cyclops. Statues are missing arms, legs, and heads, and 2 of them hold discolored bronze bowls in their lower arms. 2 of the statues are merely inanimate and will collapse into dust when touched. The other 2 statues retain the magic that animated them as guardians centuries ago. They have gargoyles with no fly speed. Cool. They awaken and attack when an intruder starts to descend the stairway. However, should someone place an offering in the bowl held by one of the statues and say a short prayer to Sidon, the statues will remain inanimate. Neat. The stairs are marked by dozens of hoof prints and human footprints, which track through haphazard splashes of red wine. So, big ol' reminder. Do they bend or did they change the compass rose? There's no compass on either map. But in order for this staircase to line up with this one without any turning, it has to... I would need to rotate this map to the left, and then essentially like slap the ancient glade like up here, and then it continues to the left, which then makes this light. I'm gesturing at my fucking screen like you can see anything, but the ancient glade stairway would be right here, and then the hall goes like this way, and then the whole thing's over on this side. But then this light makes no sense. So what I'm thinking is like this staircase actually like fully turns around, like it turns right and then turns right again, and then this extends essentially this way. So like it would go up here and then over here, and then this is the beginning of the ancient glade map, and then it continues this way into the big old opening. I think that's the only way, because like there is this light spot right here on top of this river, and I think that that's supposed to be this. So I think that's what it is, and maybe I'll even get to the part where like it says, oh yeah, the staircase turns a full 180, but I doubtful. The Geigen's mirror system lets light into the cavern and allows the rare plants to grow. Natural cavern has a ceiling 20 feet in height, while the worked stone tunnels and chambers are 10 feet in height. Tunnel leads deeper into the earth. Stone archways support a low ceiling of rocky dirt. Curtains of heavy roots and vines hang from the archways. The roots do nothing, but if Demetria tries to run away, she can use them to restrain people. That's cool. And then, do these restrain? Do the roots actually restrain? Holy crap, they do actually restrain. It's only +3 to hit, does very little damage, and then it's escape DC 10. But Harry Potter Phoenix Stairs. I don't know what you're referring to. I actually don't know what you're referring to. So let's switch to the Ancient Glade, because apparently that's a separate map. Okay, we got a bunch of oh my god, there's a Geigen. That's terrifying. So we got a bunch of commoners. Those are probably her friends. Got some goatlings. Do goatlings have 5 hit points? They have 5 hit points. They go down like a sack of bricks. Yeah. Ancient Glade. Dumbledore's office. The stairs rotate. I don't mean the stairs actually fucking rotate. Or wait, I don't know. Yeah, no, like the stairs don't actually like physically rotate. It's just like a spiral staircase. Yeah, goatlings seem to be like the kobolds of this world. Very easy to kill. Only really useful in large groups. Dryad, Satyr, and Laureus. Hiding goatling. That's cute. Hiding goatling. Alright. Ancient Glade. Expansive cave is a garden of strange ferns, fragrant flowers, and luminescent fungi. A massive tree stump. Okay, so that is a stump. So I did see like the rings on the tree. I was like, is that just like a cutout and like the tree's canopy is somewhere else? But no, that's actually a stump. Overgrown by a carpet of green clovers, the stream of clear water winds around the trunk, babbling noisily. Light streams in from an opening in the stone ceiling. The air is pleasantly damp, and the smell of the garden is intoxicating. The cavern is used as a place to grow rare plants of various kinds. It is moist and fed by a small underground stream. Where does that stream come from? And where does it go? I'm not sure which one's upstream. I'm guessing this is upstream, because it's like it's a pool. In case the players decide to ask. Encounter. Sostrity. Let's go with Sostrity. Two goatlings chase a young man around the glade that he shrieks when they grab at him, but they always release him so that they can resume the chase. That is just a dick move. 4 other goatlings are currently hidden and watching from the shadows. The boy Sostrity is one of Corinna's friends. If the heroes do not intervene, the game will eventually end in his death. Yikes. If the goatlings see the heroes, they will first try to finish off Sostrity and then attack the heroes. Wow. Any goatling who is damaged before his first turn will shift his target to the heroes. If Hercus is on a hero's shoulder, he'll throw a nut and draw the ire of one of the goatlings. If Karina is present, she'll rush forward to save Sostrity. 4 goatlings hidden in the shadow will attack anyone who moves in to save Sostrity. Okay, ancient tree stump. Massive stump must have belonged to a magnificent tree centuries ago. It was cruelly hewn down to waist height. Thousands of green clovers grow over the ancient injury. This was a sacred tree. The Dragon Lord Esther led a band deep into the forest and chopped it down. He carved it up and used it for the mast, keel, and prow of the Ultros. It's gonna be a yikes. This was once the sacred tree of Demetria's sister, another dryad. Demetria keeps a small clay pot with her sister's ashes resting on top of the stump. If open, the ashes smell of roses. If Demetria discovers that anyone has touched the ashes, she'll be determined to kill that individual. Garden of strange plants. Rare and useful plants here. Cool. They can be harvested in order to create the poison essence of ether. Cool. Takes an hour to harvest enough to make a single dose. There are enough plants in the chamber for 12 doses. Proficiency with Poisoner's Kit is required. Aconite. I'm going to look up aconite. That sounds like a thing that exists. Yep. Monk's Ode, Wolfsbane. Cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. Can be used to make Assassin's Bullet. 2 hours to harvest enough to make a dose. Enough for 12 doses. Proficiency with Poisoner's Kit is required. And the Sunrill Berry Bush. Berries from this legendary bush have the same effect as good berries. 30 berries can be harvested from the bush. They're easy to harvest, but spoil in 24 hours. That is pretty cool. These are all really neat. I like these. Cavern of Fungus, which is up... Yeah. A whole lot of commoners and 1 goatling. This cavern is blanketed with luminescent pink and teal-colored mushrooms. The walls are hewn from smooth rock, and they slope upward from the ground, leaving many comfortable spots to recline. A stream of waters from the adjoining glade flows into a stone basin in the floor. Okay, so this is the bottom of the stream. So the river is flowing to the northeast. Excuse me, it's truth serum poison. Okay. When eaten, it causes a state of euphoria. Cool. Pair of goatlings hide at the back of the cave. They attack the heroes as soon as they see them. Teenage revelers. There are currently 8 teenage men and women in the cavern chamber. They've all been eating the madon fungus. They're in a euphoric state. Poisoned for the next 2 hours. All of them under the sway of Demetria and waiting for their turn to be initiated. Teenagers cannot be convinced that Demetria is anything other than a benevolent goddess who has promised her devoted followers wealth, beauty, and fame. If separated from her for 24 hours, they can be persuaded of her true intent with a DC 10 persuasion check. They have stats of commoners and are divided into pairs: Lysandra and Basilisk, Cleon and Heron, Irene and Draco, and Callisto and Ariston. There are 2 roots close to the entrance of the cave. Got it, and got it. These roots will attempt to grapple anyone trying to leave the cave, not enter. Making Truth Serum. Hero's proficiency with nature will recognize the madon fungus and realize its usefulness in making Truth Serum poison. I'm going to look that up, because apparently that's in the Game Master's Guide, which is the DMG. Truth Serum. DC 11 or become poisoned, as if under Zone of Truth. Cool. That's easy. Simple enough. You need proficiency in medicine to recognize the fungus needs to be harvested in a particular way in order to avoid spoiling its effect. Okay, so you need proficiency in nature to recognize its usefulness, but proficiency in medicine to recognize that it needs to be harvested in a particular way. Okay, an hour spent harvesting gives enough material to make a single dose. enough for 12 fucking... They could spend days here just harvesting plants. Den of Lush Flowers, which is on the other side of the cave, which is where Laureus is. So, small caverns overgrown with living roots and vines, flowers of every shape, scent, and color, carpet the floor, overwhelming your senses. Several oak trees also grow, breaking upward through the partially collapsed ceiling. A stream of water from the adjoining glade trickles through here. What? So this is downstream. Hold on. It sounds like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, and water is coming from the middle and going in both ways. I'm just gonna say that that's true and let the players figure it out. And essentially what it's gonna be is like it's just babbling up from underneath the tree. Fuck it. Cavern's a resting place for some of the Fae who have come to visit Demetria. There's 2 satyrs and 1 dryad who come to plead with her to stop antagonizing the mortals. Oh, like resting. Like they're actually resting. Not like they're dead. Harmless pranks are one thing, but kidnapping young mortals is dangerous. They worry about a reprisal from Estoria. Satyrs and Dryad won't harm the heroes, but they won't help them either. They'll simply inform the heroes that Demetria rules the temple. Her actions are her own, and she doesn't represent the other Fae of the forest. They would be pleased if Demetria were no longer a problem. Laureus is also here. He's very interested in the heroes. He's quite talkative and asks many questions about the purpose in the temple. He's different from most of his kind and has an intense curiosity about the settler races. Well, we don't have any of those right here. He'll stealthily follow the heroes while they remain in the Mossy Temple. If they're in danger, he'll use his panpipes to put one enemy to sleep. So we're gonna look at the satyr stat block and see what in the hell he's capable of. Panpipes. Panpipes? Is there a satyr stat block in here? Yeah. Centaur, Cyclops, Empyrean. He's not a mythic beast. He's not a nymph. He ain't a sea monster. Non-player characters. Satyr Minstrel. You should have said... Nope, still does not. Oh, Fae music. Yeah, you... So I'm guessing he's a Satyr Minstrel and not just a Satyr. Satyr Minstrel's a bit of an upgrade. So we can use an action to... So why isn't it under actions? These guys don't know how to write a stat block. Don't sponsor me. Any creature within 60 feet that can hear the music... Oh my god. Any creature? When your player is in Icefire Peak has Hearsome, the first Satyr, as your Warlock patron. Neat. That's pretty cool. What's the what? Oh, that'd be Archfey then. Probably. So it said in here that he would put 1 enemy to sleep. Very weird. So he really likes them, even though he has an intense curiosity about the settler races, and none of them are playing one. We have 5 monstrous races and a Warforged. He's driven by his emotions, both good and bad. One of the heroes shows him even an ounce of kindness, he'll fall in love with them. Here's another details of the main initiation feast. He suspects foul play and urges them to investigate the kitchens. He explains that Demetria was consumed with a desire for revenge after her sister was killed by Estor Archelander 500 years ago. She sought out Lutheria and formed a dark pact with the Titan, vowing to cast a shadow over the old woods to make the mortal races remember their fear of the dark. Neato. Okay, so... Stone Corridor. Alright, so we're getting into like dungeon proper. Like this is like dungeon-y dungeon. So I can get the whole thing on screen at once. Cool. So we got Area 11, Stone Hallway. It's just a whole hallway. It's a hallway. It's torchlit corridor, descends for about 100 paces. The walls are decorated with ancient, colorful mosaics which depict vignettes of 6 armed warriors, farmers, and priests. Very Gigan. Very Gigan. Nursing chamber. Yeah. Small stone chamber has been made warm and comfortable with feathered pillows and animal skins. Bronze lantern hangs from the ceiling, bathing the room with flickering golden light. Aromatic incense smoke rises from a brass censer, though this doesn't quite disguise the smell of goats. Maenads are drinking wine, eating mushrooms, and feeding their children the same. When the Maenads spot the heroes, they demand to know who they are, while the goatlings will growl and hiss. They can come up with a convincing lie. You can put them back at ease. In this case, they invite the party to enjoy their wine and mushrooms. If they don't immediately provide a satisfactory lie, the Maenads will enter a frenzy of drunken bloodlust and attack. I will give anyone disadvantage on that deception check if they can see Helios. They won't even know why. Like the Maenads won't even know why they hate Helios. They just do. Four young goatlings carry small knives for cutting mushrooms. They have AC 10 and 1 hit point each. They threaten them with their knives, but they're too timid to attack. Sleeping chamber, area 13. Got it. What is that stat block? Is that commoner? That is commoner. So what do we got here? 4 teenagers sleeping. Nikon, Marcos, Theophania, and Phocas. They have the stats of commoners and behave in the same way as teenagers in Caverna Fungus, though they are not poisoned. Roots close to the entrance, not on the map. That's neat. These roots will attempt to grapple anyone who tries to leave the room without Demetria's permission. As with other roots, they do nothing to those who are entering the chamber. Demetria saw the truth of things. The Dragon Lords may have been saviors to their people, but they despoiled the lands of Thylia with their lust for battle and conquest. It was wise of the Dryad to seek justice from the Lady of Dreams, who was gracious and good to her servants. Alright. Feasting halls. Feasty halls. Alright. Alrighty. So we have 2 goatlings. Chambers filled with smell of roasting meat. Kitchen of sorts with stone and wooden tables for preparing food. Large bronze oven dominates the north wall, blasting the room with heat. This is where food is prepared. Slaughtered carcasses of 4 teenage boys are being prepared. Whoa. Yikes. Wowza. Okay. So that went from 0 to 60. Yeah, no, there was a... I probably could have figured this out by remembering the Maenad. Humans rarely become raving ones by choice. Transformations thrust on them, often in the guise of mentors or teachers. Strong bond, blah, blah, blah. Innocent young women are tricked or forced into consuming the flesh of a loved one. Got it. Got it. So that's why they're in pairs. The women are going to have to eat their lovers, their teenage boy lovers. Woof! Jesus. Goddamn. Okay. Yowza. Give me a second to take that one in. I'm just going to skip to Area 16 because I feel like that's going to be less important. Never mind, it's got the freaking horn. Or does it? Where's the horn? Whatever. Lushly appointed bedroom covered in rugs along the floor and silks along the wall. Beautiful bed carved from living oak dominates the center of the room. She spends most of her time here enjoying the company of love-besotted teenagers. She lures them here before using them in her evil rituals. So you know how I said earlier that I was like, oh yeah, Corinna's like probably 16, and I definitely want to do absolutely nothing in the way of sexualizing her because that's creepy and gross. Yeah, so this whole thing is just a sex dungeon for teenagers. We're going to say that everyone's 18. I don't want to get put on a list. All these teenagers, you know, they're all like school friends. They all just turned 18. Fucking yikes. God damn. Demetria keeps her valuables locked in a trunk. Where do you see a friggin' trunk here? Lock can be opened. Trinkets and items stolen from teenagers. Necklaces, rings, gems of... yeah, it's probably under the bed. Most important item is a tome bound in human skin. Ritual transformation that turns a human woman into a Maenad. Yeah, well, I mean, usually I see trunks like at the foot of a bed. Do you really put them under a bed? Okay, cool, whatever. So yeah, I wanted to skip there. We'll go back to the feast hall. So, feasting hall is dominated by a huge table shaped from living oak. That's so cool. Why would there not be a human skin book? Like, we're eating humans. Why would I not use their fucking skin to leather my everything? Jeez. This table has enough chairs to seat a dozen guests. Dozen people. Food and wine are artfully arranged on the tabletop. Beautiful silver dragon horn with gold fittings sits at the center of the table. That's the thing you're looking for. Feasting chamber with a giant table beautifully laid out with wine and food. Reflected light pours in from the mirrors. Okay, there's mirrors. There's torches, apparently. Speaking of which, there's torches here, and there's definitely nothing on the dynamic lighting layer for them. So I'm going to go back to the Oracle's Temple. We're going to go to the dynamic lighting layer, and we're going to grab this torch, and we're gonna start copying them all over the place. So we're going to put one here, and 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 we're going to put one here. There's none in there. There's a big old brazier here. There's none in here because that's a place for a sleep. We're going to put one here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. In other words, the room's full of light. And one here, and two in the bedroom. Cool, cool, cool. Is that all the torches? No more torches? I am going to put a light source right here. That's where light comes down from the ceiling, so that's cool. Why would they put torches someplace they should be and not others? I put the torches in the Mossy Temple. They didn't put any torches anywhere, in fact. They just added the walls for me. So it's not that they did it in some places, they just didn't do it at all. I don't know if that makes it better. So, Demetria is here with 4 adoring teenage girls. Of course, they're all girls. They're getting ready to turn to maenads by eating their lovers. Demetria's Gigan servant is 9 feet tall and looms in the background. He has a single eye like a cyclops, 6 powerful arms, and a number of weapons and shields. He's also very clever, though he doesn't speak much. Sidon has charged him with both protecting and watching over Demetria. So Demetria is the daughter of Sidon, since she's Versi's sister. But she also is an acolyte of Lutheria. It's kind of interesting. So, Epic Paths meeting Demetria. She has information pertinent to the Doomed One and the Haunted One. I don't have a Haunted One. So we're going to look up what she has for the Doomed One. Meeting Demetria. She recognizes the Doomed One. She reveals that the Doomed One is destined to die by the workings of Lutheria. How quickly do they turn into a Maenad? Like that sound. How quickly do they turn into a Maenad? I don't know. I could probably read more about the Maenad ritual. I'll do that in a minute. Oh, like that round. Probably not, I would imagine. I would guess that it happens overnight. She reveals the Doomed One is destined to die by the workings of Lutheria, and that only the Fates can say more. This may also be revealed in the dream when the heroes drink from the horn of Balmithria. Okay, so cool. If they just decide to attack her, even though Helios will be like, yeah, like I need to talk to her. Yeah. She invites them to sit down and join the feast. She's granted her best student a special prize, a short bow of cupidity. Let's look that up. Treasures of Thylea. Short bow of cupidity. Legendary. Fuck it. +1 to attack and damage. Once per day on a successful hit, you may force the target. Make a DC 14 whiz save. On a fail, the target is charmed by you for an hour. That doesn't strike me as legendary, but sure. This book uses legendary to only refer to rarity, not power. So the short bow of cupidity is like one of a kind, is what they're saying. Not it's worth legendary power level. That's all they're saying. I think they're using the rarities wrong, but it doesn't really matter either. Outside of an Adventurers League setting, rarity doesn't mean anything. So she's giving a short bow of cupidity to someone, which means that it's probably like on the table. She'll playfully accuse the heroes of spoiling a special moment for her acolytes. As long as the heroes don't initiate combat, she's happy to talk. She knows they've been chosen by the Oracle, but she dismisses their quest as impossible. She extols Sidon's strength and Lutheria's beauty. She speaks of the cruelty of the Dragon Lords, explaining that her sister lost her life to the wickedness of Estoria Archelander. So really interesting that my players decided to come here without Kyra, because those of you who don't know this, who haven't read the book, Kyra was the Oathsworn of Estoria Archelander, and she is still haunted by his atrocities. In my game, I've given her dragon form a different name. She is Archiriania. I'm just gonna look at users in chat. Just making sure none of my players are in here. But yeah, so yeah, she asks the heroes whether they're truly fighting for the right side in the looming conflict. She then invites them to share the meal with her and the girls. The feast consists of the cooked bodies of the young men who were paired with the girls at the table. If the heroes are aware of this, they can convince the girls with a persuasion check. Automatic success is if Corinna is with them. If Hercus is with the heroes, he'll transform into his gnome form, sniff the air, and declare that the meat smells like cooked human flesh. Because of course he knows that. Of course he knows that. Eating the human flesh has no effect on any of the heroes, but if they cannot dissuade the girls from partaking in the feast, Demetrius' ritual is completed and the girls are transformed into maenads. So yeah, it just kind of happens immediately. Smiles as the girls as they hungrily devour the feast. I'm glad to see you have such appetites. There's nothing more delicious than a lover's flesh, is there? Suddenly the girls begin to shriek in pain, their teeth sharpen, the bones in their legs snap backwards, and horns grow from their heads. In a matter of seconds, they've all been transformed into monstrous maenads. There you go. Question answered. That's how quickly they transform. That could really fuck over the player. I don't know. Let's see how powerful a maenad is. Maenads are CR3. Excuse me. Yes, that would royally fuck them over. What is this? Crazed dance. Any creature, including other maenads, must make a charisma save. On a failed save, they go into a frenzied dance. At the end of their turn, they can repeat the saving throw. While on the dance, they can't take reaction. Roll a d10 to determine your behavior. Wow. PCs are level 2 right now, but that's something that I did want to talk about. They might level up at some point during this session. I don't know. I need to... I'm going to do kind of, sort of, essentially like... I'm going to do EXP, but I'm going to grant EXP for things other than just killing things. So I need to open up a spreadsheet and figure out where the fuck they are. Yeah, multiple CR3s would screw them, especially since there's also Demetria and a Gigan. So let's keep reading and see, like, what the hell. The thing that makes it worse is the Frenzy skill. I didn't see that. Frenzy. If damage reduces it to 0, con save. That has no limit. I feel like that's supposed to have a limit. Like Zealot Barbarian gets that, but the DC keeps going up. Where is it? No, really, where is it? Am I dumb? I thought Zealot got a feature like that. Berserker Barbarian? Denton had it in our Dungeons of the Mad Mage game, and he was a Zealot Barbarian, but he was also a Warforged. I don't know if that matters. I'm actually going to ask Mike. Is that just a barbarian feature? It can't be. Where the hell did you get that feature? Oh no, it is just barbarian. It's just a barbarian. Yeah, that's just barbarian 11. So yeah, a barbarian 11 feature is less powerful than this maenad feature. So I would say that the DC increases by 5 each time. Yikes. Ian is shocked. I mean, is that a surprise? Jesus. Yeah, so let's go back to... oh my god, it has reckless attack? Jeez. How many hit dice? So they have 9 hit dice. So they're roughly a level 9 character. They still only have +2 proficiency, though. Yeah, I have perception expertise for some reason. I kind of want to see this. Frenzy. If damage reduced to 0 upon save. That has no limit. I feel like that's supposed to have a limit. Frenzy. If damage... yeah, thanks Z. I did find that. Yeah, so let's see if there's like some reason for them to not immediately die. If the ritual is completed. The heroes are aware of this. Revealing the true nature of the meal to the girls will infuriate them, so that they attack Demetria, restraining her for 3 rounds. The Gaigan will easily kill the girls unless the heroes intervene. If they attack Demetria before the ritual is completed, then the girls will scream and hide while the Gaigan will defend Demetria. Personally say they're fucked even without that frenzy. But yeah, I mean, if they end up fighting 4 Maenads and Demetria and a Gaigan, they're so boned. Because Demetria is a oh, she's just a dryad? Well, does this book have its own dryad? No, the book does not have its own dryad, which means we're using the Monster Manual dryad, which is not particularly powerful. She doesn't have a whole lot. She doesn't have much going for her. There's no trees here. Kind of want a tree. Ooh, the table is living oak. She can just step into the tree, and it's another tree within 60 feet of the first tree. Let's do a ruler. Oh no, it's 75 feet. I'm going to say that works anyway. So if Demetria needs to run, she can run. She can just teleport here. She can say that's a thing she can do. I think it's neat. So anyway, the heroes attack, then the girls will scream and hide while the Gaigan will defend Demetria. So the player's best chance is to reveal the true nature of the meal, so the girls restrain Demetria. Let me look up Gaigans. Cyclops Gaigan. How big is this guy? CR4. Okay, so that's not. I'm sure there's a route within 60 feet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's a route right here, and then. Sure, that counts, right? That's 60 feet. So yeah, like she could do multiple hops. Gaigan's 2 attacks, 2d8 plus 5. So neither one of those is gonna knock someone down unless he's rolling really hot. 3 attacks, 1 with grapple, 2 with spear. So the grapple is literally just grapple. Oh, it's restrained. Cool. So you can grapple, restrain, and then 2 attacks with a spear or 2 with a javelin. He gets an extra reaction that can only be used for opportunity attacks. That's cool. He carries 2 shields. So he does have AC 18 and 68 hit points, which is kind of a lot. My players do about 30 DPR, but that was against a Mimic who has really low AC. So probably about 20 DPR when you take into account his high AC. So he'll live for maybe 3 rounds unless they start burning nat 20s, which they probably have. This is definitely a winnable fight, especially if... it's a winnable fight if these girls don't turn into Maenads. If the girls turn into Maenads, then it's a shit show, and the players need to know that it's time to fucking leave. You know, one of them might jump across the table, grab the horn, and fuck off. Once the heroes have secured the horn of Balmithria, they're expected to drink from it. They may choose to do this as soon as they recover it, or they may wait. Drinking even a small amount of wine from the horn for the first time sends the heroes into a deep sleep for 8 hours. The heroes experience vivid dreams during this sleep. Standing on the deck of a beautiful galley, a bright cerulean sea stretches out before you. You look down at a strange bronze device in your hands. It seems to reflect the constellations of the night sky, even though the sun shines brightly overhead. The oarsmen pull the ship through the water faster than you thought possible. You look down at the men on the benches. They meet your gaze with dead eyes and skeletal faces, dozens of leering corpses. you're startled awake. Kyra can interpret the dream, as can Aesop or Proteus, the Temple of the Oracle. They know that you have seen the Ultros. There's only one ghost ship known to the people of Thylia, the Ultros. This is the famous trireme, constructed by the Dragon Lords 5 centuries ago. It was commanded by a bloodthirsty man, Estor Archelander, who was responsible for starting the First War. He was later cursed to sail the seas forever as a ghost. The only person who's likely to know the location of the Ultros is King Acastus of Mitros, for he is a descendant of Estor Archelander. The bronze construct from the dream may be the legendary magical compass known as the Antikythera. Supposedly, it has the power to navigate to all of the islands in the Cerulean Sea, the Forgotten Sea, and even the legendary Nether Sea. It's uncertain where this item might be found, but it's useless without the ship. Dreams may tell us more about ourselves than we might like to imagine. How many of our waking hours are spent retreading the paths we walked in dreams? So, the players... Oh, please tell me that... We're going to look at item handouts. Thank God there's no text on it, which means that I can add the H here and make this the Horn of Balmithria. Thank God. God damn it. This is the fucking... I don't think I'm going to use this. I kind of want to look at this letters section. I've got item handouts. That's kind of... don't want to look at monster... Yeah, letters. Chapter 1, letter from Sidon. Oh! Helica was supposed to have that. Oops, forgot to give that one. Oh, it's chapter 4, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, anyway. That's cool. Yeah, anyway. So that's the area. Not that big a deal. Laureus is kind of weird. I think it's going to be interesting to roleplay. I'm glad Kyra's not here because having multiple followers would be really awkward and uncomfortable. Although they do have Corinna. They will have Corinna with them, unless she dies, which is possible. Although the goatlings are going to target Helios. So maybe she won't die. Who knows? Hey, check out our Teespring Storm. Well, thanks for being here, Sinpoder. It's always nice to have people in chat. So the thing that I want to sort of refresh on is in Estoria. There was a section that was like, oh yeah, if the players return with the horn, and I kind of just skipped over it. If the heroes return the horn of Balmithria to the reliquary, Aesop will be overjoyed. If they have not yet taken a drink from the horn, Aesop will urge them to do so now. This is a sacred ritual that should grant the heroes clarity on the quest. Aesop asks the heroes to swear an oath to take the horn to Queen Valis and Mitros. He warns the heroes that King Acastus may attempt to claim the horn as a symbol of his right to resurrect the Dragon Lord. Aesop believes that in these uncertain times the horn rightfully belongs to the goddess of wisdom. So there was so he's just like, yeah, you know, don't leave this here. Take it with you. Take it to Valis. There was a note here. Refer to running the epic dance. She says only the fates can say more. This may also be revealed in the dream. Okay. So let's just okay, drink. Okay. Yep. Yep. Where was the part? Helica carries a single pearl. She also has a note that reads, DM. So I did miss that. But I was kind of rushing last session because I was trying to get Tim to, like, places. So yeah, I think I'm pretty prepped. The last thing that I want to do is just sort of refresh on the King's Daughter, which is only like 3 pages. So King Pythor begs them to fix the problem, which is that his daughter is going to be sacrificed, and then there's they could ask for assistance. He has valuable information for the demigod and the lost one. We don't have a lost one, but we do have a demigod, and he did offer his hammer, but so if the players agree to be sacrificed, they can just like defend themselves, and then basilisks attack, and they can kill the basilisks. The heroes survive until 10 minutes. The heroes leave the rock. Harpies will use luring song to lure them into the depths of the river. Harpies, centaurs, and Order of Sidon will become increasingly agitated as they wait for the basilisks. Eventually, the Harpies will swarm down in a fury. If the heroes survive until sunrise... So yeah, the actual sacrifice is essentially just be chained to the rock, and then that's it. Like, they just assume that the basilisks will come and eat them. I did think that the centaur chieftain might be like a way to go, but they're not even going to try with that. And then, so they've decided to negotiate with the Order of Sidon. Pythor offers 50 oxen for the solution. He knows that the Order will also want another human, but he can't bring himself to suggest anyone. He didn't say anything about that, but Kyra did suggest that this may be the best option available, an alternative sacrifice. And then Gaius will turn down the offer of 50 oxen and will initially be against anyone taking the place of Enora, but will change the mind if any of the heroes suggest themselves. If they don't think of this, he suggests it before they leave. He knows that Sidon wishes to see the Oracle's Chosen killed, and offering them up on the Rock of Estoria would be a fitting way to do it. Thank you. Gaius will only agree to a substitution if all of the heroes agree to be sacrificed together. Remain here until the sun rises. If you step away from the rock, the city will suffer the wrath of Sidon. So that refers to the Rock of Estor, which is this area. And if we go to the map of Estoria, that's this rock right here, essentially. So if I go to, I should have a map of Estoria. Yep. Does this have a grid on it? It does not. And also, that's a very, very tiny. That's super, super tiny. Yeah, like I'm zoomed. I cannot zoom in any further, and it's a yikes. Okay, I wish I had noticed this part of the map down here, because that's really cool. Like, that's a really neat view. I wish I had noticed that before. It's just like a side view of the whole city. Yeah, that's kind of awesome. So yeah, I don't have a map of the Rock of Estor, but I don't think it's really a big deal. They're essentially just going to be like in a tight circle, and the basilisk is going to pop out, and it's just like, go murder them. Go. Yeah. And I don't think basilisks really have anything that's particularly... If a creature starts its turn within 30 feet, how big is the rock? I want to say it's like 30 feet across. 15 feet in diameter. Holy shit. That is teeny tiny. Like let's go to a map that does have a grid. Token. Draw shape. Like, that's the whole ass rock. That's the whole Rock of Estor. There's no space to hide or... Yeah, so it's going to be like the 6 of them and 2 basilisks, and the whole rock is taken up, and everyone's going to be within 30 feet of the basilisk, and they have to just stop looking entirely, just close their freaking eyes. So this one, oh, okay, it does say if it isn't surprising, can avert its eyes. They bite real hard, though. They're CR3. So that would be a very difficult fight for them if they do decide to go that way. But I think that the players are probably going to push forward on the Mossy Temple just because Corinna wants them to. Unless she dies, in which case they'll be like, well, shit. So I think I'm basically done prepping. A lot of the prep that I did last session is kind of getting reused. I didn't use much of the King's Daughter because I only got to set up the beginning of it. And then essentially the only thing that I haven't prepped out of Chapter 2 is the Mithril Forge. So maybe I should spend 15 minutes reading the beginning of it, but just until the first fight. But honestly, I don't think that's super necessary. I think that they already have two very obvious ways to go. They can either go back to the city and deal with Commander Gaius and do the whole King's Daughter thing, or they can continue into the Mossy Temple. Or technically they could go to the necropolis at Tillamook, but I don't think that's... they have time limits on each of the two things. Allegedly Rock of Esther with a grid map. That doesn't look right at all. I don't know if that... I don't know if that looks right. Oh god, what did I do? What have I done? I zoomed out the browser. Estoria. Control-0. Alright. Yeah, I think it's described as a promontory, so I was imagining it as yeah, it doesn't look right at all. Real talk. I think this is just a map that someone made and then someone else decided this looks like it could work for the Rock of Esther. But honestly, I don't think positioning is super important, so we could actually just play that Theater of the Mind. Totally fine. Do not need a map for absolutely every single fight. Not a big deal. So not gonna bother with that. I'm sure if I searched the Odyssey Discord, someone would have a map that works better for it, but not important. So I might thumb through the Mithril Forge at some point off stream, just to have a little bit of prep, but I probably won't, honestly. They already have two places that they can go, each of which has a time limit on it. They want to meet with Commander Gaius at 8 p.m. tonight, which is 6 hours from now, and they're a 3-hour walk from Estoria. Alternatively, they can go to the Mossy Temple because they know that if they don't go now, they might, the first time a rain rolls through, they might, lose the trail that heads to the Mossy Temple. So, two time limited things for them to look for. So I don't think it's important for me to prep the Mithril Forge right now. So that's gonna call it. That's gonna be the end of today's Odyssey prep. If you guys want to watch the actual session that I just prepared, we're playing on Saturdays at 4 p.m. EST. So that's 20-ish hours from now. And we'll see you there. And thanks for watching. Bye.